All right, so I thought I'd do a quick video just to talk about what happened today at Cal State San Bernardino. Hopefully by now you guys have seen Christelle's video. Um, so this particular student pulled me aside after our core team meeting earlier today, uh, just to have me pray for her, and she told me a really intense story that basically she experienced some spiritual warfare with one of her friends last night and was able to, by the power of the Holy Spirit, deliver her friend from some, demonic oppression. And as she was telling me, I can tell she was really like, even couldn't believe that the Lord had used her that way. So she was wanting to prayer, just prayers of protection and prayers that the Lord would just continue using her. So as I began to pray for her, just engage in prayer, just praying a blessing over her, praying that the Lord would protect her, and then felt led to pray for her knee too, because she was walking around with a knee brace, and I just asked the Lord, Lord, uh, don't let your work in her be limited to delivering, but Lord, would you give her healing too? Would you give her more? And I think part of the reason that I prayed that is because I had literally just gotten out of a meeting about like hour and 15 minutes before, hosted by the Revival Council, where we were talking about the revival at Asbury University. And I was in the car actually the entire meeting on the way to Cal State San Bernardino, driving 50 miles. And we just kept talking about, during that meeting of like what does it mean to ask the Lord for more? What does it mean to ask the Lord for, basically to share what was happening there in our spheres of influence. So I think I've been compelled by that type of prayer. And I think part of it has to do with, some of you guys know it, that we had a mass shooting here in the city that I live in Monterey Park, and how our church was involved in the vigil last month. So I've just been praying that the Lord would bring healing and revival to our city. And as I've read, and seen videos of what's been happening at Asbury, I've just had like Lord, I want some of that. You know what I mean? Like pass the mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Like I want me some of that. So as I'm praying for the student, I'm just asking the Lord, man, like bring some of that here. And I share this really, like even in sharing, I just want to say that this has nothing to do with me, like at all, man. Like, because the Lord doesn't use me this way, like I know how to hear from the Lord. I've done spiritual warfare with delivering people and stuff, but healing is just like not in my wheelhouse, like at all. So we're hanging out, and about 10 minutes later, not even, like maybe 5 minutes later, we're watching some of the other students play a game. And she says, hey, I think the Lord healed my knee. And I'm like, nah, like I can't believe it. Like it just sounds ridiculous. And so she comes over. I'm all, well, like let's test it. Like take off your knee brace. So she gently takes off her knee brace, and I'm like, man, this is gonna sound crazy, but if you think he healed you, let's try bending your knee. And she bends her knee, it's a little stiff. But then she starts walking around, and all the other students are like, they stop their game. And now everybody's just like, wow, and the Pentecostal students are like, whatever. Um, but I'm like, well, do you still feel something? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's just keep praying. So we gathered the rest, stopped the game. Everybody gathered around her, and we just began praying. We prayed for another 15 minutes. And when we were done, there's just this great sense of peace in the room. Um, and, basically she told us, yeah, that she felt like the Lord had brought full restoration to the knee. But I'm still not believing it, right? Because this was such a hater. This is not how the Lord, you know, he uses my gifting, and I've never been in that, like a healing that's like so clear, like night and day, before and after. So I'm just tripping out. And so she goes outside and starts running up and down the stairs. And she comes back in and she's just like just full of joy, you know. So anyways, that's a story again. Like I shared the story, and I really want people to hear that that had nothing to do with me, y'all. You know what I mean? In fact, some of the students were like, yeah, just go leave your crutches back at your your dorm. Go put your crutches away. Go put the knee brace away. I was like, I don't know if you want to do that, but really, like as far as I can tell, full restoration. And I think if there's anything that I'm feeling, I've had like a smile on my face for the last like 4 hours, just nonstop, just smiling. Like just feeling the joy of the Lord. Kind of like, man, I just want to tell everybody like what the Lord did today, because that was crazy, and it had nothing to do with me, everything to do with God. I'm not gonna rob God of His glory. So, anyways, I think we just need to keep praying that the Lord would pass the mashed potatoes our way, and not being afraid to have more. Like, don't be a hater. Don't be like, I don't know, like that. I want what's happening at Asbury in my backyard. It's like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Just go for it. Just pray and see if the Lord brings it, and if not, you can still rejoice in the Lord. So, anyways, that's me. That's my story, and it's been a really wild, wild day, man. I'm gonna go have dinner and just rejoice in the Lord.